Welcome to Yoga Nidra for a good night's sleep with Sammy Aaron. So settling into the comfort of your bed, lying on your back, you might want to have a pillow underneath your knees, underneath your back and your neck and shoulders, just to feel very, very supported. Make sure that your feet and legs can be totally relaxed, that your elbows are supported and heavy against the mattress. Pay attention to the alignment of your hips and be sure that they're equidistant from your waist, that your lower spine is in alignment. And the same thing with your shoulders. Pay attention to your chin, that it's neither pointed down to your chest nor pointed up to the ceiling, but it's just at what would be horizon level with the neck nice and long. And then bringing your awareness to the soles of the feet and the toes. You might wiggle out the toes, do some ankle rolls, letting go any tension through the lower legs. It might feel good to clench all the muscles in both legs, from the glutes all the way down to the toes, and then release, jiggling out the knees one more time. Really feel the thighs just settle in and relax. And then doing the same with the arms, making fists with your hands, maybe doing some wrist rolls, and then clenching all the muscles of the arms from the fingers all the way up to the shoulders, and release. Let go any tension there through both arms, left and right. And then bring your awareness into the low belly, the upper belly, the chest, around the rib cage. Clenching all the muscles through the chest and the belly, tightening through the glutes and the back body. The entire torso is tense, tense, tense. And release, let that go. Feel the shoulder blades settle into the mattress. Feel softening through the armpit, through the soft belly. Letting go any gripping at the groins. And then bring your awareness into the shoulders, the throat and the neck. And tense everything there. Tense through the shoulders, through the back of the neck, and release. Feel the shoulder blades, the upper part of the back settle back into the pillow, into the blankets. Bring your awareness into your face and your head and clench all the muscles through the face, tightening the jaw, and clenching through the teeth, through the cheeks, the forehead, the eyebrows, and release. Swallowing once or twice, allowing the lower teeth to separate from the upper teeth, really feeling the softness through the inside of the mouth. The tongue is released and relaxed against the lower palate. The lips are soft. And bring your awareness now into your brain for just a moment. All the thoughts and activities that go on constantly through your brain. Bringing into your attention all your thoughts about not being able to fall asleep, worrying whether you'll fall asleep, maybe anger or frustration about past history with sleeping issues, and just bringing all that into your awareness. And I invite you to let all those thoughts go, to just feel that you could just let them melt through your brain, out through the back of your head, through the pillow, through the bed, to the floor, and just lie there on the floor around you. That these thoughts are in the past. These thoughts are things you think about in the future. And invite yourself to just be in this moment, in this meditation, right now. One of the great benefits of a Yoga Nidra practice is that even if you don't fall asleep, even if you're still awake at the end of the practice, you'll still be in a state of ease, complete relaxation. The physical and emotional benefits of this practice are far and beyond healthier than they would be if you were up all night pacing the floor, watching the clock, fretting and being frustrated. So I invite you to just allow yourself to experience this Yoga Nidra practice without any sense of an outcome. Just simply be here in this moment, allowing all the thoughts about what you think should happen to just soften and dissipate as your mind begins to wander during the practice back to issues with sleep, perhaps your to-do list, your worries, grief that you might be carrying, emotions that come up. You simply give yourself permission to let all of that go so that your mind instead will be focused on your breath, on your body, and on a state of stillness. So take one full inhalation, just allowing your awareness to float through the entire body, looking for any areas you might be gripping. There might be some tension. And as you exhale, allow that to go. Begin to feel very heavy against the supports, against the mattress. Feel the warmth of the blanket on top of you. Bring your awareness into the breath at the upper chest. Notice the movement of the skin and the muscles, maybe through the throat, through the collarbones. See if you can release into the awareness of the breath at the upper chest. Imagine that it's a little bit deeper, a little bit smoother. All the muscles through the throat, through the top of the shoulders, through the collarbones are just softening, allowing the breath to express itself through the upper chest. The lips are sealed. The breath is soft through the nostrils. Begin to move your awareness of the breath down a couple of inches. Noticing it now at the level of the armpits. Feel the movement of the ribs at the upper part of the chest. With each inhalation, you feel the skin expand. You may feel motion, a little pulling sensation through the breasts. You might even notice a little activity through the back of the shoulders. With each inhalation, you feel the breath now in the upper part of the rib cage. And very gradually move the awareness of the breath down another couple of inches so that you're more at the middle of the rib cage. You become aware of the movement of breath through the lungs, noticing them equally through the right lung and the left lung. You notice the expansion of the rib cage on the inhalation and the softening and releasing on the exhalation. You begin to bring your awareness down to the lowest part of the ribs, the lower lobes of the lungs. And you follow the movement on the inhalation as the lower ribs fan out, feeling a little bit of motion now through the upper part of the waist, perhaps through the kidneys at the back body, feeling the movement of the breath through the lowest lobes of the lungs. Noticing the little massage of the heart with each inhalation and the gentle constriction with each exhalation. Move the awareness of the breath down into the upper belly now through the solar plexus area. Feel the belly so soft, feeling even more expression of movement through the waist, through the side bodies of the soft belly. Noticing the little massage now of the stomach and the liver and the spleen as the diaphragm moves on the inhalation and it softens on the exhalation. Bring your awareness down another couple of inches to the navel and just below the navel. And feel that motion of the breath through the lowest part of the belly. Noticing the motion now of the skin and the muscles around the groins. You might begin to notice a little rocking sensation of the pelvis. Feeling the pubic bone draw away from the navel on the inhalation and soften back towards the navel on the exhalation. Finding the breath deep and heavy here in the low belly. Noticing very little movement of the breath now through the throat and the upper chest and even the middle chest, but finding the motion of the breath at the lowest part of the belly. Invite yourself to begin to lengthen the exhalation, seeing if you can exhale out just a little bit more than you have been, perhaps allowing the inhalation to deepen just slightly. With your next exhalation, empty out completely. Just feel that you could express every bit of air out of your lungs, out through the belly, and pause just for a moment, and then let go. Allow the breath to flow in and flow out at its own pace, moving through the torso without any control on your part. We'll begin the guided Yoga Nidra practice now. If your mind wanders or you doze off and then wake back up, don't worry if you've missed some body parts. Just allow yourself to just catch back up with whatever body part I'm mentioning at the time. Your ears were still open and they will have heard every word that I've said. So you'll still receive the benefit even if you float away for a few moments. So just soften into that and allow whatever arises to arise. There's no goal, there's no target. So softening your awareness again through the entire body. Releasing one more time, one more layer of tension, one more layer of being alert. Bring your awareness to the crown of your head, the very top of the crown. Notice the soft spot at the crown. Notice the skin and the hair follicles. And just soften through the crown of the head. Just imagine that you could open the crown up to the heavens, just bringing in softness, receptivity. And then draw your awareness to your forehead, to the hairline, the smooth skin of the forehead and the temples. Noticing both temples equally. Releasing any tension you notice around the side of the head and the eyebrows, the left and the right eyebrow equally, the space in between. Finding the eyeballs, the eyelids, the eyelashes, the eye sockets and the muscle behind the eye. And bring your awareness into the bridge of your nose, nasal passages, your nostrils, even the sinuses at the front of the face, the cheekbones, all the way out to both ears. Bring your awareness to the outer ears, to the opening of the ear canals, and then deep inside the ear canals, the middle ear, the inner ear. Bring your awareness to the sensation of where the inner ear begins to touch near the temporomandibular joints, drawing your attention through the inner ear, through the sides of the jaws, into the TMJ area on both sides. And then draw your attention from the TMJ through the bones of the upper teeth, from both sides, the left and the right, bringing your awareness around the teeth, through the teeth, being aware even of the gums supporting the teeth, identifying where each tooth connects into the bone supporting it. And then bring your attention to the lower teeth, from the TMJ area, through the bone, around the jaw to the front of the lower teeth, bringing each tooth into your mind's eye, the gums around the teeth, the bones where each tooth attaches. Bring your awareness to the lower palate and the tongue, heavy against the lower palate. Bring your awareness to the upper palate, the inside walls of the cheeks, the inside of the lips, the chin, all the way back to the TMJ area and into the throat. Softening from the base of the throat to the collarbones. And then draw your attention to the upper part of the shoulders, the tops of both shoulders, left and right. And then bring your awareness into the joints of the shoulders, the rotator cuff area, into the armpits. And draw your awareness from the shoulder joint down the upper arms into the elbows, the bones of the elbows, the crease at the inside, and then from the elbows down the forearms into the wrists, left and right equally. Move your awareness from the wrists into the palms of the hands, the fleshy pads of the palms, the pads of the fingers and the thumbs. Find the very center of the palm on both hands. Bring your awareness to the back of the hands, from the wrists down to the knuckles, over the backs of all the fingers, to the nails, to the tips of the fingers, the tips of the thumbs, and release. Bring your attention from the tips of the fingers, through the fingers, through the hands, through the wrists, up the forearms, through the elbows, the upper arms, through the armpits and the shoulders, and release. Feel both arms heavy, connected, at ease. Bring your awareness back to the top of the shoulders, the collarbones, and begin to draw your attention down into the upper part of the chest, letting go any tension that you notice in the breasts, behind the breasts, through the ribs at the upper chest, through the armpits, and through the middle part of the chest. Feel the ribs separate from each other, the muscles connecting them, and just release, noticing the lower ribs, finding in your awareness the entire rib cage, the sternum, being aware of the right lung and the left lung and the heart. Draw your attention into the upper belly, the solar plexus, seeing if you can identify the stomach and the liver off to the right side and the spleen to the left. Moving your awareness through the navel into the low belly, being aware of your intestines, the colon, the bladder, reproductive organs, genitals, and the pelvic floor. Feeling the entire torso from the pelvic floor through the groins, through the low belly, the upper belly, and the chest to the throat, and let it go. Bring your awareness back to the pelvic floor and into the hip joints on both sides, finding the bones of the pelvis, the right hip and the left hip, noticing the glutes on each side and the groins, and then being aware of the uppermost part of each thigh, noticing where the thighs attach to the torso, and draw your awareness from the hips through the flesh of the thighs, all the way down on both legs into the knees. Bringing your awareness into the kneecaps, to the crease of the backs of the knees, and then softening from the joints of the knees, down the lower legs, through the calves, over the shins, and into the ankles. Both legs equally, left and right. Moving your awareness through the joints of the ankles, past the Achilles tendons, over the heels, to the soles of both feet. Noticing the fleshy pads of both feet. Finding the arch at the very center of the soles, deep, deep inside the arches of both feet. Noticing the bottoms of the toes. And then draw your awareness to the tops of the feet, from the base of the ankles down to the knuckles and the tops of all 10 toes. Being aware of each toe individually, the nails of each toe, the tips of the toes, and release. Draw your attention from the tips of the toes, through the feet, past the heel, through the ankles, up the lower legs, through the knees and the upper legs, into the hips, deep into the glutes, the hip joints, and completely relax the legs. One more layer of tension. Let go from the legs, from the hips down to the toes, and release. Bring your awareness to the base of the pelvis, all the muscles of the pelvic floor, and draw your attention to the tip of the tailbone, the coccyx, the last couple of inches of the spine. And see if you could soften the glutes from the back body away from the spine. Both sides, all the flesh of the glutes just released as if the spine could just drop heavily towards the floor. Move your awareness up into the sacral area, the back of the pelvis. And imagine that you could soften the skin there on either side of the spine, the lower part of the waist, away from the spine. Just feel all the muscles around the spine soften. The spine begins to feel heavy there at the low back. Move your awareness up a couple of inches now into the waist, behind the waist. Feel the sides of the waist soften away from the spine. The spine releases at the waist. Bring your awareness into the kidneys above the waist, finding the right kidney and the left kidney, and invite them to soften away from the spine. You begin to feel the spine from the level of the kidneys all the way down to the base of the tailbone, and it's heavy. It's at ease, no tension around any of the bones of the spine. Move your awareness up now to the shoulder blades at the back body, allowing the right and the left shoulder blades to soften away from the spine. This is the heart center, and just feel that softening as you bring that into your awareness. You feel the emotions of the heart center soften away from the bones of the spine. The right shoulder blade is heavy, the left shoulder blade is heavy, and the spine now is unfettered by the shoulder blades and can just allow gravity to pull it away from the body. Feel the spine drop towards the earth. Moving your awareness up a few more inches to the upper part of the back, the upper part of the shoulders. Feel the right and the left shoulders soften away from the spine at the upper back. The entire upper back feels loose, at ease, and heavy. Move your awareness into the neck. Notice where it attaches at the upper part of the back. Notice where the spine ends at the base of the skull. Bring your awareness to the neck itself, the muscles on the right and the left side, and let them soften. And finding the spine at the neck, totally at ease. Bring your awareness to the entire spine, from the bottom of the skull, down through the neck, the upper back, the middle back, the waist, through the sacrum and the tailbone. And imagine that every muscle connecting to the spine could soften. Visualize the inside of the spine that faces up towards the ceiling. Imagine that you could soften the spine from the inside and from the outside. The entire torso is heavy and released. Bringing your awareness up at the top of the neck, finding the skull in your awareness, noticing the hairline from the top of the neck, around the back of the skull, around the ears, following the hairline along the front of the face, past the temples, up to the forehead. Feel the entire skull. Notice all the skin around the back of the skull. Notice each hair follicle there, the back of the ears, going inside the skull, being aware of the brain. Could you soften the right hemisphere of the brain away from the left? Feeling that openness in the same way that you open to either side of the spine, finding the space between the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, all the way up to the crown of the head. And bring into your awareness now the entire body, feeling it open, at ease, and heavy. You feel the spine and the back body settle back into the supports, into the mattress, and let it go. No intellectual thought about the heaviness and the release in the body. Simply be pure awareness of how this feels, to allow the body to be at ease. Bring your awareness now to the breath, following it in through the nostrils, following it back out through the nostrils. And simply begin to count the number of beats on the inhalation and the number of beats on the exhalation. Being the observer, is the inhalation equal to the exhalation? Is one longer, one shorter? And very gradually, over the next few breaths, I invite you, using your count, to begin to see if you could elongate the exhalation so that eventually, after a few breaths, the exhalation is twice as long as the inhalation. Allowing the inhalation to just flow in at its own pace, and then with awareness, using a little bit of control through the belly, through the diaphragm, we begin to expand the length of the exhalation, finding the sensation of a release of emotion, softening the sensation of being on alert. Through the breath, each exhalation is just slow and deep and soft. Each inhalation is without stress, simply receptive. Be aware of any tension that might have arisen through the brain, through the face, as you concentrate on this breath, and let that go. Simply allow your awareness to count the inhalation, to count the exhalation, and allow that softening. And then letting go any control of the breath, allowing it to simply flow through your body however it will. Bring your awareness into your brain, into all the activity and the thoughts, the memories that come up, the emotions that are analyzed, nurtured, the conversations that you relive, everything that happens through your brain, all the analytical activity, all your connection to others, your thoughts about the future and the past, everything that goes on in your brain. And be aware now of the sensation of the physical activity of thinking. What muscles have you just tensed or constricted slightly? Where do you notice the physical sensation of thought? And see if you could soften all the muscles surrounding the activity of thinking. Softening through the forehead, the frontal lobes of the brain, perhaps the eyebrows, through the eyes, and just allow the awareness of thought coming in and coming out, And nothing you need to do to react to the sensations of thought. You can simply be a thought being without reacting. Bring your awareness into your eyes, your sense of sight. Be aware that even with your eyes closed, there's still the awareness of your inner gaze, visions, dreams, the memory of everything you've ever looked at. Every time your eyes have darted around, been on alert, felt they had to be aware and perceiving and looking ahead and looking back. Feel all that awareness of what happens to your body physically through your sense of sight. What muscles do you tense? Where do you feel the blood pounding? Where is that sense of alertness through your eyes, through your face? And let that go. Allow your sense of vision to simply release. Part of the Yoga Nidra practice is the yoga concept of pratyahara, allowing withdrawal of the senses, softening of each of the sense organs. And this includes the muscles that activate with each of our senses as they are constantly on alert. So ask yourself, from my sense of vision and sight, what can I release? Images may come to mind. You may see colors, flashes of light, patterns. All that is just as it should be, and it's nothing you need to react to. In the same way that a thought can just come into your brain without reaction, an image can come into your vision without reaction. Nothing you need to go look for with your eyes. They can be just at ease. Bring your awareness into your nose. Be aware in your nostrils, the sense of smell. Begin to remember the sense of something sweet, something bitter, something that smells pungent, the smell of smoke, the smell of garbage, whatever sense that comes to mind through aromas, through your nose, the sensation that your nose is there, your nostrils are there to keep you on alert, to alert you of something that you need to be aware of, something you need to react to or act on. And feel the physical sensation of your sense of smell. You might feel the muscles tensing now around the nose, through the cheeks, and just let that go. At this moment, any sense that come through the nostrils can simply come into your awareness and then release. Bring your awareness into your mouth, your sense of taste, the taste of your own saliva, the texture of your tongue and the inner walls of the mouth. Remembering the actions and reactions of your mouth as you taste something sweet, something hot, something cold and bitter, something that tastes awful, disgusting, and feel all that sensation, not just in the mouth, but through the throat, through the digestive tract, all of this activity that happens in the body through the sense of taste. And invite yourself to let that go. The physical awareness of the sense of taste can just be at ease. Releasing any tension you notice through the mouth, the cheeks, the throat, the stomach. Bring your awareness to your skin, through the face, being aware of how there's a sensation, even through your skin, of being on alert. The skin around the face and the ears, the skin of the skull, and begin to feel that you could open through the pores of the skin, that you could just soften your sense of touch, the awareness of what the skin around the head is touching, the coolness of the air, the pillow at the back, and just imagine that you could let go the sensation that the skin needs to be on alert. The skin that protects our bodies from something sharp or hot, something too cold, something painful. Our skin that reacts to the most gentle touch and opens and receives that softness. And visualize the entire head, all the senses, the thought process, imagining through the brain and the eyes and the nose and the mouth that we could just release and open through the skin. And then finding our sense of hearing now through both ears, being aware of those things that we react to by sound. We are constantly on alert. The sounds of electronic gadgets, the sounds of a siren, the sounds of a crash and a baby crying, arguing, TV, whatever sounds that come into our awareness, knowing that our sense of sound is also there to keep us on alert, to keep us safe, to help us know when we need to react, and allow that sense to release through the outer ear, the inner ear, the muscles and the bones around the ear. Our entire sense of hearing can be opened and allowed to just be receptive, allowing in the sound of my voice, the sound around you. Nothing you need to look for, react to, be on alert about, through your sense of hearing. Feeling the entire head now, all of the senses, at ease, open, expansive. Beginning to feel that your head is just simply part of whatever's around it. It's opened. And then bring that sensation of openness and ease and drop it down now through the shoulders, through the breasts, into the chest, into the heart center. That same awareness of the openness through the skin. Feeling that openness through the skin now of the chest, through the front body and the back body, through the side bodies. Feel the skin, each pore, each cell, each molecule, each atom opened, Nothing the skin needs to protect you from through the chest. And bring your awareness into the heart center, into the space between the shoulder blades, at the back of the chest. And be aware of all the emotions that reside right there, knowing that each emotion we have can be triggered by a memory or a thought through the brain. Each emotion can trigger a thought or a memory in the brain. Constant communication between the heart center and the brain, and each one of these emotions can be brought on by each of our senses. We see or hear something that reminds us of something that happened in the past. Our emotions can set up reactions that we have to certain foods or certain sounds or aromas. Constant action, reaction, and interaction between our emotions here at the heart center and all of our senses. And begin to notice what muscles have tensed with that awareness through the heart center, with the constant communication with our five senses, with our thoughts, and let that go. Allow all the emotions that float through our being to just be there. Nothing you need to act on or react to with any of your senses. An emotion is just an emotion. It can float there in the heart center and release. Scanning through the head and all the five senses. Scanning through the throat and the upper chest, the chest itself. And feel that expansion now. Back to the sensation of the skin opening through each pore, through each cell, through each molecule, through each atom, the emotions and all the senses and the brain are at ease. Taking this awareness and dropping it down now into the lowest part of the belly, finding our navel center, a space below the navel, just a couple of inches, and deep at the center of the belly, the very center of the torso, and find constriction there. This is the area of our self-awareness. This is our history, our family, our background, a sensation of our hometown, our ethnicity, our religion. It might be how we perceive our self-esteem, our educational level, our intellectual level, our awareness of our body image, our self-image. All of the things here at this navel center that identifies, this is me, this tells me who I am, where I come from, what I believe in. And feel the tension that arises with that sense of identification with all the things that define you in the past, in the present, and of course in the future. Our bodies, our brains, our emotions, and all of our senses constantly are identifying, reacting to, and acting upon this awareness of who we are, settled here at the base of the pelvis, base of the torso, at the navel center. And ask yourself, could I let that go? Could I release everything that identifies me? Could I release all the muscles that I tense up when I try and force myself to be a certain way, to react a certain way, to think that I need to do this because I am that, and just let that go. Feel all the muscles in the low belly and the skin through and around the torso be released and open in the same way that you opened through the emotions, through all the senses, through the brain and the thoughts, the intellectual activity. And feel that you could just let go through the navel center of all the thoughts of who you are. Can you just be with no identification? Can you just let go? Can you just float on the awareness that there is a being in you who has no sensation, who has no thoughts through any of the senses, who has no identification with all of those thoughts that we constantly identify about ourselves. That there is this perfect being at stillness and at peace through all the emotions, through all the senses, through all the awareness of our history, how we identify ourselves, and we can simply float at any time that you're ready. Keeping this place of stillness, you can settle into sleep. You may wish to turn over on one side, adjust your blanket. Keeping this sense of stillness with you, this sense of openness, and allow the awareness of letting go. As you turn over to sleep, this becomes your mantra. As you begin to notice thoughts, your mantra is simply let go. With each inhalation, you feel that expansion, that openness, that floating on pure awareness. With each exhalation, let go. Let go.